I don't have time. A self-limiting belief that really ruins the opportunity for change to happen. Let's talk about it. Roll it. Welcome back to another video where we've been exploring this whole idea of giving up and how when we feel like giving up, we sometimes are running on emotional drive instead of that logical, structured thinking, that rational side, and it makes us do things, make decisions on our futures that aren't what we really need. In the last few videos, we've been exploring this whole idea of self-limiting beliefs and how they stop us from achieving the things we need to be achieving. And how the 3 questions to ask when you feel like giving up on yourself can help you push back those emotions, those thought processes, those beliefs on yourself, and really focus on the task on hand to get moving in the right direction. I don't have time is an excuse people use quite more often than other things. And they use it so often that it's become that norm to go to. Whenever you're thinking of doing something and you don't do it, you just say, I don't have time. And then you use it as not only as a self-limiting belief, pushing this fear factor forward that you're not going to be able to achieve. You bring it out as an excuse so that you can justify the reasoning to why you're not doing better or newer and better things. And I hear it all the time, and people will come and they'll ask, hey, I want to do more, but how do I get out of this rat race? How do I get moving in that right direction with new things? I don't have any time. From work to family, the kids, and of course, all the other things that you need to do in a given day. You wake up and it's dark already by the time you go home. There's not enough time. I want to work out and I can't. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. So let's think about this for a second and really ask ourselves, is this really an excuse? Is it a self-limiting belief? Or is it just you trying to justify through the self-limiting belief and the excuse the reasoning as to why you can't focus and put an effort to prioritize the thing you really need to do? And we see it all the time. People will come from the perspective of priorities. They don't know how to prioritize what is critical for them. And then they'll begin doing something, be working on something, and as time goes on, failure mentality picks up and they blame it on this I don't have time thought process. Step 1 is to analyze where the emotion's coming from, you feeling like giving up and this whole idea of I don't have time popping in. What is occurring at that moment, or what has been occurring? What is going on your emotional levels, and how are you being more drawn to focus on them than the tasks you need to do? Number 2, it's asking, were your expectations too high? Did you prioritize something at the beginning because your expectations were really high for it? But as time went on, that plan you had created, well, it wasn't really a plan, it was just a number of things you had to do. You started working on them, and as time went on, you didn't see that progress, and as the progress wasn't coming, well, your emotions start to pick up. You start seeing it as I don't have time. Your priorities for it start to drop, and of course, your expectations are still up here. And instead of accommodating for the changes, making those tweaks to the planning, to the timing, and to the expectation, well, you kept all that similar, and you didn't make changes to it. And your mindset went from, I can do this, I do have time, to, I don't have time, I'm never going to achieve it. So in that step 2, it's really analyzing what is occurring there. What are the expectations, and how do we tweak the timeline with the tasks we need to do? Maybe breaking them down and making them smaller so that we can actually achieve small wins to push back this whole idea of I don't have time. This will allow us to really look at the next step, which is to prioritize what you're doing. Prioritization is critical whenever we're trying to do something new and achieve something big. We need to prioritize certain things, but sadly, we don't. And this is a big one when I talk to business guys and ladies, and they're like, yeah, I don't have time to date, and I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to start a family, but I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. I thought dating should be easy, and it's not. And then we get into the conversation of why it's not. what is going on and what is happening. Prioritizations are critical, and I'll give you a story here. There's somebody we've been coaching with their business, and this I get a lot from people. They don't have time with dating and they want to get married. And this lady has done a phenomenal job with her business. She's grown it. We've adjusted things. We've coached her through different thought processes and ideas that she's taken and moved forward to grow her company where she doesn't have to be the only person doing everything to the person doing the things that they need to do and running the company while they've hired more people. Yet as she continues, she complains about not having enough time to do the things she wants to do, even though she's got so much more time than before. This self-limiting belief in this example is something that a lot of people go through, not just from a business perspective, they have a business, but from any perspective where you've started to achieve things and you've restructured everything, given yourself more time, yet you still use this excuse. You still focus on it, and it's a self-limiting belief that needs to be fixed. And it can only be fixed by looking at what is occurring and implementing small wins along the way where you can start trusting yourself and being true to yourself and giving yourself the time you need. Because it brings us to the last step, and it's prioritizing. It's prioritizing what you are doing with what you need to be doing. In this last example, it's quite clear this lady needs to prioritize the people that are coming to her life a little bit higher so that she is not canceling on them, so that she is not focused more on the business than on that moment, that relationship she's trying to start. And this isn't just this one lady, this is a lot of people that go through this, and they're like, I don't have time. Lots of working people out there, we get all these questions, and you see all this stuff on blogs and videos and YouTube. And the same thing goes for professionals. I don't have time. Or parents, single parents, I don't have time, I got the kids. Prioritize that hour, the 2 hours that you're going to have for that afternoon with the date you're going on. Prioritize on that person you started the date. Prioritize to find a balance between what you're doing, that work that you do each day, that routine work, with the new stuff that's coming in, and adjust the schedule so that you can start prioritizing a little bit different in order to introduce a new process into that process you have. And then the sequence of events will start to flow more easier, because at the end of the day, if you're seeing small wins go along and you see, hey, this dating thing is easy, I just have to spend an hour right now for this person and nobody else, and I'll do that 3 times a week. Well, now those are small wins. The relationship starts to pick up, it starts moving forward, and everything comes to a balance and understanding. The self-limiting belief of I don't have time, well, it starts to disappear, because now you are in control. You are in control, nobody else, of what is occurring, because your thoughts are in control of the tasks at hand, the things that need to be done, the things that you want to see achieved. And this is a critical part of it all. It's you making the decisions, nobody else. Everybody's got the same 24 hours. The question is, if you act on all this stuff, are you going to be happier that you did and you're able to be like the few who use those 24 hours effectively? Or do you want to still be in that spot you've always been? My name is Nikos Rentas. This is Mentorsports.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Of course, hit the subscribe button to get your daily motivational idea to get you moving in the right direction. Of course, leave your comment below. Leave your story. What's worked, what hasn't. Who knows? Somebody might be watching this. They might read your comment, and you might help change my life.
Snow again.